Willow's annoying habits and bad behavior, but I'm also going to be praising her for the amazing dog that she is. Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, I am Devin and this is Willow. I create videos about corgis and my life with a corgi, who happens to be quite a little diva. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the pros and the cons of having a corgi. So let's get right into it. First pro about corgis is they are super smart. Corgis are typically ranked amongst the smartest dog breeds. This means that with enough training and persistence, your corgi can learn about anything. Corgis were bred to be herding dogs, and so this meant that they had to tell large livestock where to go and make them do it. And being that they are so small, they had to evolve to be super smart to avoid being hit by these large animals' feet and hooves. Willow has been the easiest dog to train. She picks things up super quickly, and I just feel like she understands what I'm saying when I speak to her. She learns words and commands really quickly, but also starts to learn how she can really test me. So the first con about corgis is they are very stubborn. Corgis are a very stubborn breed. They want to do things on their own time, and they try to test their owners whenever they get the chance. Even though corgis know the command or the rule, they typically do it when they feel like it, not when you ask them to do it. A lot of times Willow will want to come in the house, I'll open the back door, and then she'll just stare at me, and I have to will her to come inside. It seems like she wants to come in the house when it's her idea and not when it's my idea. So that's just one of the examples of Willow being extremely stubborn. Also, when I ask her to do a trick, I have to ask her multiple times for her to actually do it. I know that she's smart and she knows what I'm telling her, but she's still going to see how long it actually takes me before I get upset with her, or if I'm actually going to make her do it. The next pro is corgis are very food driven. This makes them really easy to train, especially with positive reinforcement techniques. If you have a treat, your corgi is going to listen to you because they know what you're asking of them and they know that they want that treat in their belly. So if you have a corgi, always have treats on hand and they will listen to whatever you ask them to do. The next con is that corgis love food so much that they easily get overweight. When I picked Willow up, her breeder actually made it very clear to me that corgis could potentially eat themselves to death. This is how much they love food that they will eat, and then their stomach will get so full. And if this happens a lot, your corgi is going to get overweight. And this is bad because of their short legs and their long bodies. Being overweight and having any extra weight on their bodies is going to make it much harder on their bones and joints and lead to other medical health issues. So you may see a lot of corgis that are lazy and roly-poly and fat, but this is not a healthy way for corgis to live. So I'm trying to break that stereotype of corgis being overweight because it's not good for them. And while they love food, it is our job as their owners to make sure that they are getting a good diet and a good right amount of food. A good way to keep your corgi at a good weight is to get them involved in a lot of activities. Our next pro is corgis are very athletic. A lot of people don't realize this, but corgis are super athletic. They were bred to be very active all the time. So you're gonna notice that your corgi has a lot of energy, and don't count them out on big hikes or dog sports like diving and agility. Because corgis are so smart, they're really good at the mental game, but they're also really fast, especially for their leg length. And they can get up those mountains, those rocks. They love to go in public places with you, and they love to do sports. A lot of people, when they take corgis hiking with them, get that comment, how did he or she make it up this mountain? It's a common misconception that corgis are couch potatoes. They are actually very active, and if you have an active lifestyle, they are gonna be a great dog for you because they do love hiking adventures and going out in public and doing sports. So this is an awesome pro about corgis that a lot of people don't know. They are really athletic. The con, which I already hinted at, is that corgis have a lot of energy, and if they don't have a way to let out this energy and be stimulated mentally and physically, they may get destructive in your household or just be extremely bored. I know Willow, when she's bored, will just whine, whine, and whine. And while she is on the lower energy scale as corgis go, she still requires a ton of attention and exercise and mental stimulation. And this is why I love things like treat puzzles or Kongs. Another really great thing is sprinkling treats and hiding them throughout the house. Give them a job to do, give them something to sniff out. This is super mentally stimulating and will actually wear them out. The next pro about corgis is they are full of personality. I recently created a video about all of the weird things that corgis do, and there are just so many of them. It's kind of hard to put into words how funny corgis are. You kind of just have to be around them and live with them, but they have a ton of hilarious facial expressions. They're very expressive, they're very vocal, and they just do the silliest things all the time. And I think that's why corgis have gotten so popular on the internet, is because they have so many viral moments. I mean, Willow howls when she eats because she loves food so much. And that's just one of the weird personality traits that Willow inhabits. So corgis are so fun to have in your life, and they are just exploding with personality. One of the silly cons that go along with your corgi being full of personality, they tend to be a judgy breed. There are so many jokes on the internet about corgis being judgmental, corgis judging you. And so because their face is so expressive, you may feel a little intimidated by them at times. All right, now the next pro is corgis are very confident. Corgis are a super confident breed, and they are really comfortable in their own skin. Willow lays on her back belly up all the time. She sleeps that way on my bed. She lays like that in the middle of the living room. And this is really a sign of trust and confidence. So if your dog does this, they are very comfortable around you and they don't feel the need to protect themselves. Having a confident dog is very fun because they're very social. I call Willow the social butterfly whenever I take her to the dog park or any other corgi events, because it seems like all of the other animals just flock around her, and she loves being chased and she loves being the center of attention. So that is why I think corgis are really confident, and Willow is the queen of confidence. While they are very confident dogs and love to be super social, a con with that is that they don't like to be left alone. Willow has been known to have a bit of separation anxiety, and that's because I do take her to a lot of places with me. So she gets very used to coming with me whenever I leave the house. She's usually following me out the door. So on those instances where I'm leaving her at home, she gets really upset and anxious. But of course, it's inevitable that you're going to have to leave your corgi at times, and that's why I love to hide treat puzzles around the house, which are going to keep her engaged and active while I sneak out the door and for several minutes after, so that she doesn't notice me leaving. And the hope is that once she's done getting all of these treat puzzles and finding all the treats that I've hidden around the house, she will forget that I even left and just feel comfortable and confident at home alone. I will link a couple of those treat puzzles that I really love to use for Willow in the link below, and if your dog has separation anxiety, I think those things will really help. Another great thing about corgis, at least most of them, is that they are really affectionate. The great thing about corgis is that they're really affectionate without being super needy. Because they are independent and confident dogs, they're not super needy, but they love being around humans. Willow loves a good cuddle session. For the next con, corgis can be kind of destructive when they're left alone. If your corgi is not provided the mental stimulation, the physical exercise that they need, they can become destructive. Willow ate the corner of one of my baseboards when we moved into this new house. I think that she was just really unfamiliar with this environment, and then me leaving her alone to go to work was just too much stress that she became destructive. They can also be destructive if they're not given enough physical activity. They can get really bored and just find something to take that out on. What I've always heard is that if you don't give them a job, they're going to find one. Whether that be digging in your backyard, tearing up a pillow, or chewing on one of your baseboards. As long as you're making sure your corgi is active and happy, this shouldn't be a problem. But another great thing to do is to possibly crate train your corgi, or keep them in a pen or sectioned off of certain points of the house, because especially when they're younger, they can be destructive. Another pro, corgis love playing and learning and taking adventures. If you're someone who wants a dog that you can take everywhere with you, corgis are a great choice. On the other hand, a con is that corgis need consistent training. Corgis really need consistency in their life. Because corgis are stubborn and smart, they constantly need to be learning and reinforcing the things that they have already learned. So for example, making them wait before they eat dinner, making them go to their place or bed when somebody comes over, working on things like their recall constantly all the time. Okay. Those things are really important when you have a Corgi. This Corgi Pro is they're super easy to groom. My sister recently got an Aussie Doodle, and while a lot of people think this is great, these dogs don't shed, they are really hard to groom. Their fur constantly gets matted. They need to be taken to the groomer and washed and shaved or cut at least every 6 weeks, and it's hard to get her hair to grow out and be long and pretty because you have to constantly brush her every single day and make sure that her fur doesn't get matted. With a Corgi, with Willow, I think the last time I gave her a bath was 2 months ago. I do try to give her a bath every month, and you don't want to bathe them more than once a month because it can start to dry out their skin. You really just have to bathe them and brush them, and they stay clean really easily. Now, the con that goes along with that is that, yes, Corgis do shed. According to the American Kennel Club, Corgis ranked amongst the highest shedding dog groups. And this is because they have a double coat, so they have a ton of hair, just like German Shepherds and Huskies do. So if you think about how much those dogs shed, Corgis are pretty close. They don't shed as badly, but they do shed a lot. With their coat, their top layer is a thick waterproof coat on top, and then underneath they've got the more soft fur. So it's a lot of hair and a lot of shedding. I've kind of gotten used to always using a lint roller and having to vacuum every other day, but it's totally worth it to me. It doesn't bother me that much. And if you brush them and groom them regularly, you should be able to manage it and keep it under control. So it's not horrible, but yes, they do shed, and yeah, they do shed a lot. Pro, Corgis are large dogs in small bodies. This makes them really easy to take places with you. Willow can travel on a plane with me. She's an easy passenger in the car, and she's not a big bull in a china shop when I take her into public places. Corgis truly have the personality of a large dog. So a lot of people don't like small dogs for whatever reason that may be. They love a big dog because of their personality and their ability to protect and be active. And Corgis are the same way, but in a smaller package. Like I mentioned earlier, they're really athletic. You can take them up almost any mountain. They were bred to herd cattle. So, I mean, they're pretty cool. They're not a small dog, they're a large dog. Now, because of their big dog energy, they can be overwhelming for some small dogs. When I take Willow to the dog park, I typically bring her over to the large dog side because she likes to chase animals and can get kind of rough when she plays. So I don't typically subject the smaller dogs to Willow's energy because she can be really overwhelming for them. She plays really well with large dogs and always has, and I think she visions herself as a large dog as well. So if all of your friends and family have large dogs, your Corgi is gonna fit in perfectly. Pro, Corgis get along with other animals. If you already have a dog or cat at home, Corgis typically fall into a pack really easily. Con, Corgis are very vocal. Now, this could be a good thing if you're looking for a dog that's going to alert you of strangers in your home, or if you like dogs that talk to you a lot. But it can also be really annoying. I remember when Willow was a puppy and she wanted attention, she would just sit there and bark at me over and over again until I gave her my attention. Also, being that they are herding dogs, they had to use that noise to really get these animals to move. So they are really loud. Willow has learned when I'm yelling at other dogs or cats that that is wrong, and she takes the authority to go and chase after that dog or cat and stop them from doing that. She barks at them and then chases after them. And I think that's a herding instinct that Corgis have kind of evolved to have, but this makes her bark all the time when I yell at one of my cats. She goes chasing after them and then can get all the other animals in the house riled up and barking too. On the fun side of that though, Corgis like to make a lot of other noises. Well, the whining that Willow does isn't fun, but she does small little barks at me when she wants me to throw the ball, and I actually think that it's the cutest thing. Oh, and of course her howling. She howls when she eats something that she really loves or is overwhelmed by how good the food is, but she also howls when somebody comes over to the house that she's really excited about, and she also does a little howl after she yawns, which I think a lot of Corgis do, maybe a lot of dogs. Let me know if there are other dog breeds or just that's a normal dog thing, but I think it's so cute. Pro, Corgis can live up to 15 years. If they're taken care of right, they're getting their annual checkups, and you're feeding them right and keeping them on a healthy diet, Corgis can live to be 15. Con though, if they're not taken care of well, or if they have genetic markers, they can be prone to a lot of health issues. Corgis' statures make it really easy for them to develop things like hip dysplasia, arthritis, and other back and joint problems. There are a lot of supplements you can give your dog to try to prevent these things, but based on their genetics, sometimes it's just impossible to deter. So this is why it's really important to make sure your dog is in shape, active, and eating right, and seeing the vet regularly. Willow is only just about to turn 3, and she's already developed a limp a couple of times just from jumping off of my bed. So you really want to limit corgis from jumping on or off things, going up and down stairs too often, especially as they get older, and with puppies. You really don't want your puppy to be jumping on and off things or going up and down stairs until they're like a year old. Give their bones and joints a chance to really develop, and then they will learn and have the courage to do those things. But at first, you kind of want to limit it. It's also really important if you're getting a corgi from a breeder to make sure your corgi's parents have been health checked and tested for certain genetic things like DM and hip dysplasia, because these genetic diseases are common in corgis. A lot of breeders don't do their due diligence to make sure that they're not breeding dogs with those genetic conditions. And the last pro is that corgis are undeniably adorable. I will honestly say that Willow is the greatest companion of my life, and my decision to bring her home was the best decision I have ever made. Corgis make such great pets if you take care of them right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, it would mean the world to me if you did. Turn on your notifications so you know the next time that we've uploaded. And like this video if you liked it. It helps the algorithm push my video out to more people, and I would love to grow this channel and be able to bring you more fun corgi content. So help me out. Click the like button, hit subscribe. You can also follow us over on Instagram at WILLO'S. We post a lot more regularly there. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Again, thank you so much for watching this. You are all the best, and I appreciate it more than you know. Anyways, we're gonna go have some sangria and watch TV. Oh, Willow. She's like, put me down. Look at, she's like a little slinky. What are you doing? All right, bye guys, thank you. What are you doing? What are you doing? Corgis are typically ranked amongst the hyatt. Corgis are typically ranked amongst the highest. No, corgis are typically ranked amongst the smartest dog breeds, according to the American Kennel Club. Now, because of their high energy and their big dog. But just one, no. And a lot of breeders don't do their I mean,